Do you want to optimize your fat loss progress? Now, I am directing this very specifically towards some of my new clients that have joined for the Pro Physique Transformation Challenge, kicking off very, very shortly. And I just thought that I would put together a video with my kind of top tips in terms of making the most out of this process. But this is of course going to apply to anyone, any of my other new clients, any other people that are just kind of undergoing the initial stages of their body transformation and fat loss phase. What to expect out of it and how to get the very most out of it that you possibly can. So the first one that I want to discuss is having the right expectations over this period of time. The top of which is anticipating the discomfort and anticipating the need to embrace that and learning how to embrace that. One of the main things that I find as an initial challenge with working with new people, especially maybe people that haven't gone through this kind of extensive body transformation before, is that on a certain level you understand, hey, in order to achieve something different, I'm going to have to do something different. But oftentimes doing that something different can be quite an impediment to them. They feel like, you're stuck in certain routines, certain behaviors, certain ways of doing things. And it can be a challenge to kind of get out of that, break out of that mental mold and embrace doing stuff in an entirely different manner, changing your routine, changing your daily structures. But understand that that is just a fundamental part of the process. And any time that you're looking at achieving anything substantial, you need to change things quite substantially, okay? Just like when you're going to college and you're trying to get a degree, or you're moving from undergrad to postgrad, the level of work and implementation that you have to put in increases over time. So be prepared for that. Be prepared that you need to change if you want to see a change. Secondly, learn how to track your macros, guys. Now, I'm fully aware, in terms of my assessment of meal plans versus tracking, I'm fairly liberal with that, and I do understand that various individuals are going to have a predisposition to functioning better on one or the other. And for the most part, during a fat loss phase or a contest prep or a transformation challenge, choose which one you feel is going to be most sustainable and effective for you. However, I think it is very important to realize that whichever camp you fall in, if you are falling on the meal plan side of things, and maybe you want things to be a little bit more accurate, maybe you want less thought going into the process, definitely understand that the point of this challenge is not just to take you through 12 weeks or take you from point A to point B. It is to also teach you how to maintain those results for the rest of your life. And being able to learn how to track accurately and consistently and have that accountability over your own health and body composition is of paramount importance in terms of sustainability for the future. So even if you function better off a meal plan, learn how to track at the bare minimum. That will allow you the knowledge to be able to put together your own meal plan and make small changes every now and then should you need to. But sustainability is the key here, and certainly over a challenge like this, we are really trying to drive that point home. Thirdly, and this is kind of picking up from the last point, don't view this as a 12-week challenge. This is just a transient period of time to get you moving. This is to get you moving. But everything that I preach about and everything that Pro Physique preaches about is sustainability and making this a lifestyle. We want to use this as a platform to really expedite your results, but also as a means so that you can make this last for your life. So things like learning how to track, learning how to train and learning how to love the process, and also finding a way to fit these metrics into your lifestyle and not having to fit your lifestyle around them. We look at a 12-week challenge, a lot of people's narratives is, well, I can do anything for 12 weeks. True for the most part, we can see that during an athlete's contest prep. But how do we translate that into sustainable results forever? Well, it's about, from the beginning, giving some thought to how do I build these behaviors into my lifestyle and not fit my lifestyle around these behaviors. Because if you're doing that, it'll never be sustainable in the long term. This is a big one, and this is a mental one. A lot of people, and it's newer people, it's people that are more experienced, it's men, women, everyone, people get caught up on what they're seeing on the scale. Believe me, take this home, put it in your pipe and smoke it. Your weight is going to be fluctuating all the time. Day to day, week to week, it's going to be up, it's going to be down. Really what we're trying to assess here is trends over time, but there is a lot more in the way of important data to gauge how your body composition is moving. Visual assessments, measurements, if you can go so far as to do kind of a regular body composition test, even though they're not accurate, as long as they're done under the same settings, they can at least be consistent and be applicable to our purposes to gauge your level of progress. If you wake up one morning and the scale is up a couple pounds, don't freak out, because this is where people lose the amounts of progress that they could be making, because they get demotivated from that and then they fall off the bandwagon. But the reality is that there are so many variables that can affect your body weight on a daily basis, from sodium consumption, sleep levels, stress levels, food volume, fiber consumption, training from the previous day. Just as much as an intense leg session can put my weight up by 3-4 pounds overnight. Do not take what you're seeing on the scale on face value and look at it as just a data point that we're looking at trends over time. All right? And then the final one is going to be, even though our main lever to change your body composition, particularly as it relates to fat loss, is going to be nutrition, don't neglect your training. Your training is of paramount importance, and especially if you are a beginner in this, use these initial 12 weeks to really learn how to execute these exercises and movement patterns as well as possible, because long term, that is going to stand you in the best stead. When you move into a phase where you're trying to build muscle, your ability to recruit target muscles as it pertains to specific exercises is absolutely key, and being able to perform those movements as well as possible is also going to, in the long term, prevent injury. Training is crucial, and there are going to be a lot of people in this challenge that, even though the ultimate goal is fat loss, there is going to be the possibility at some level of recomposition. And if you nail your training, how to perform those movements, the cadence, the rep speed, the execution, as well as learning how to train hard enough, your proximity to failure, are you getting adequate stimulus per set? Learning how to do that is going to make sure that you are getting the very best that you can out of this next 12 weeks.